side.
You're stupid.
Keep money in the commissary just to keep you. If that's what's going to keep people off and out of your ass, I'll send you some commissary.
I fear prison more than it. Well, no, I would say I fear prison second behind drown. No, maybe drowning is probably less to fear at this point. I think I was going to say my biggest fear is drowning, but now that I think about it, going to a maximum security prison might be biggest fear.
I think it'd be one of those situations that you'd have to assess the situation and quickly make a decision or choice and decide if you're going to be.
You got to join a gang for sure.
No, I'm saying you got to decide if you're going to be the one getting it or giving it.
I don't want to give it though.
That's not how you have no choice. You got to pick one. You got to roll with somebody in some crew, and you got to pick one because somebody's winning, somebody's losing. Which one do you want to be?
No, I definitely don't want to be the loser.
I guess that's a fair point.
But you definitely have to join a gang, which means we wouldn't even be able to, like, we'd all have to split up. Chris is with some Spanish gang, don't know which one, but everyone's probably the strongest at the time, which one he's joining.
You guys are some.
Puerto Rican.
It's true. There's usually a Puerto Rican gang.
Crackers, Chris. We already know where he's going.
Yeah, but I won't enjoy it. I don't want to be part of it.
He goes, yeah, but I won't like it.
No.
Like you said, I have no choice here.
Exactly.
He'll try to join one of the minority gangs, but
I don't want to. I'm morally opposed against it.
Well,
Me too. Can't stay in. I don't think we can stay in PC forever though. Protective custody all the time. I fear for my life. Help! Start telling on everybody. This guy.
I would 100% be a snitch if it just kept me out of jail.
Yeah,
I wouldn't think twice about it.
I can't. I don't know though.
I wouldn't even think twice about
because then you got to think about being unsafe on the outside world even more so, and your family.
What family? I have no family for anybody listening.
There you go.
Family. They'll come after my cars. No.
Vin Diesel might come and save you out of nowhere because
fuck that bald fucker.
You don't want him to come save you in a situation?
No, he can't read. I'm not going to put my life in the hands of someone that can't even fucking read.
How do you figure he can't read?
He can't. He's literally never has he even acted in a movie that he wasn't producer or writer on. He has 4 fucking words.
I love how do you figure he can't read? He can't.
Boiler Room?
Are you kidding me? He struggled with the line, I am Groot. Come on.
He didn't struggle. I think they told him to do that.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't have to read it. He was told, say these 3 words.
Wait, so because he's okay. I don't know. I'm like, wait, so because he's so good, we're putting him in a bad section? Like somebody's like, you're so perfect for this. That means he's untalented?
No, I think he can't read. I think he's a terrible actor and he doesn't deserve to live. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
Wow, that went pretty
Chris has this very similar feelings that I do for
he can't be in a movie that he has not produced, financed, or written.
I don't want his life. I don't want his
because
life
nobody wants him.
I just don't want to see him in shows.
Wow.
Like I don't.
I mean, I don't mind him. I don't think he's the greatest in the world, but I don't think he's the worst either. I do think it's kind of at a point that it's like coasting at this point for him through everything, especially with the Fast series, but interesting. Very interesting.
This is why we had a hate wheel.
Yeah. And I mean, these 2 movies right here, Street Fighter and Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li. Whoo! Let's
hold on. First, I want to give a quick shout out to the 80 Twitter followers we picked up since last week.
Woo!
Good shit.
And we had our highest stream count on YouTube, by the way, for our episode last week. That got up to 120.
There we go. There we go.
We're just under 1,500 on Twitter. I want to thank everybody that's followed the show or checked out that stream.
Oh, yeah.
James, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Our views and Twitter follows have quadrupled since you left, and we've insulted you this entire time.
And again, guys, what happened to James is
we wish him the best, but this is what happens when you're a chronic masturbator.
Yep, watching Street
and you
Fighter.
cause yourself personal injury.
He was trying to he was trying to do a Hadouken as he was firing off at the same time.
He was trying to Spider-Man his windows.
Yeah,
and some got on the floor.
He slipped.
When he was watching the Chun-Li version of it, he tried to do the spinning bird kick on his hands, and he knocked the TV over with his foot. So it's just been a wild time, guys. We deal with some craziness all the time.
It's true. It's ridiculous.
Like we just got one of our co-hosts back from immigration. They finally let him go because he finally showed the correct papers. And now the other one leaves because he's just hopping around dancing.
It's fucked up too because my beard was just getting kind of big. So when I was like, no, seriously, just give me a fucking razor or a trimmer or something, and I got it down, they were like, oh, that's the other kind. Got it. Right, okay, my bad.
And the reason why I turned them in, guys, was because I was low on cash and I care about America.
Man, you see that wanted poster, you see a price on there, you turn in anybody.
I know who that is. I know exactly where he lives, officer. He's right up there.
Yeah.
Just don't tell him I said anything. What's your name? James.
Yeah, that's true.
James Gainup.
What a 99-cent reward.
Oh man, hey man, I just got something to eat from the dollar.
You can find me at the following address.
Damn.
Yep.
I just thought about that, man. The picture of James slipping on
his Hadouken. Hadouken.
Oh shit.
Oh man, but real quick, let's pull up some of these comments. Deadpool, of course, early.
Parts. #1 fan.
You know, we're watching these two movies made me go back and give Double Dragon movie another look, which
there was a fucking Double Dragon movie.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
Are you serious?
That may be something we
gotta watch that shit, man. Because I was
just about to say maybe someone got to throw on the gaming wheel because
that was the '90s game, man, right there. That fucking Double Dragon. Holy shit,
that's interesting.
I totally forgot about that.
And then James, rewatching these two movies brought back the disappointment. Street Fighter is a 2 out of 10. Cheesy acting. Legend of Chun-Li is a 3 out of 10. This was a little better, but still meh. I do like the actress from Smallville.
Yeah, that's why his windows are sticky.
Spinning bird dick.
There's the Street Fighter move in there somewhere.
Shit. Holy shit.
That's good.
We do wish James the best. He's laid up for a while.
Oh shit.
I don't know.
Don't let her bring your legs too far.
So do I. She's amazing.
Yes.
Listen, she's okay in this. Okay.
I like Street Fighter. After Super Mario Bros. in '93, this is 10 times better.
You know what's funny? I get all Ming Na Wen. Yeah. I forgot. I didn't even realize she was in this until I watched it again. Ming Na Wen is awesome.
I'm just pulling these up real quick just because we missed them.
These guys are fucking.
Mario Bros was trash. Yes, 93 was trash, which I wish you were there for that episode, James.
We got a whole dialogue to go through here before we even get into anything.
That's awesome.
All right.
I just want to know where did the characters have time in the final act to put on video game accurate outfits?
I mean, I guess with the whole Ryu and Ken ripping the fucking patch off and shit, but
I had a train of thought and I lost it now.
Prison wallet.
Prison.
So, but let's get into these movies. Let's talk about these movies. Let's talk shit about these movies. I know that's what it's going to be. So let's start with Street Fighter '94. Remember, let's just ratings. No,
93 wasn't it?
94, I think. But a rating, no reason. We'll get into the first one and then we'll talk about the second one right after. So, Chris,
I'm actually going to give it a little bit of higher rating than even I thought I was going to give it. For the simple fact that. Remembering that this was 93, 94, this is before like Mortal Kombat, and this is before a few other things. I didn't feel it was as bad as I felt it always was, but I'm giving this one a 4.
Oh shit!
I was gonna give it a 3, and I'm curious to see if I think early '90s video game movies are a lot different than video game movies now, and I'm sure we'll get into get into that. But 3. I give it a 3.
Fucking
Zero.
This shit was fucking.
See,
bro,
I hated like.
Wow.
It was so fucking terrible. It was just as bad as I thought it was.
Hold on, I want to ask you something because I thought about this. I haven't watched this movie since I was a kid, so it's been 30 years.
Okay.
I'm watching this. We talk about Jean-Claude Van Damme movies all the time. The action movies, how great they are to make fun of or enjoy. We've watched Bloodsport. Oh yeah, Blanca was awful.
Bloodsport was way better than that.
Hold on. Is it if you think of just Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, do you think of this as a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie or a shitty video game movie? Because if this isn't a Street Fighter movie, if they name all these characters something else and don't say it's Street Fighter, does that raise the score?
It's still a shitty movie.
I think it lowers it a little bit, honestly, because part of the fact of, for me, that I was like, you know what, this isn't that bad is because of some of the actors that were in it. And then being able to see Raul Julia as, I'm pretty sure this was like his last performance.
I had forgotten the name until I saw it in the credits again. But as soon as I saw it, I remember the name. I'm like, where? And I don't remember seeing it afterwards.
But to the question that you asked, I guess it's fair to. I guess it's fair to say it's a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie because he was kind of the main character, but he did kind of disappear for a little bit. For like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So he did kind of have the least amount of time until like the end scenes, but
like I think video game movies were literally all miss up until a certain point. And then they became kind of hit or miss. And like I feel like they are now.
Yeah.
They're getting better.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying any 90s game or any 90s video game movie is great.
You know what I want to say though, is it's the live action. Because if you watch the animated version of the Street Fighter shows, the cartoons, and the fucking the movies are dope. The animated movies are dope. They're way more violent. There's like a cool story behind it, and there's some great.
It's more believable. Animation is more believable.
Well, yeah,
when they're doing all this magic shit,
like the fireballs.
Trying to translate that to live action just fucking falls flat. But I think the thing is, 90s all the way up through the early 2000s wasn't focused really on quality. They were focused on big names.
Yeah,
that's true. And that's a bad fucking. I'm glad that it's not like that as much anymore because that's a horrible thing. It's just like, okay, let's just throw this big name in here. I'm not saying it's still not like that, but I don't think it's as much as it was because they knew
it's not as much like that now.
They were like, this system is fucking broken. People actually pay attention to these movies. Like, yes, they're fans of these people in the movies, but they actually want to see something halfway decent, something good.
I mean,
especially if you're pulling from a certain property that
the audience got smarter, and then film companies finally came around, and TV production companies finally came around to that.
Yeah.
Yep. You gotta let the people who know what they're doing, that are doing the job, do what they do. You gotta. But I think they did a good job of representing the characters. I just think the time failed it because they had to do gimmicky type stuff to make things work, especially with like M. Bison at the end and his levitation and all that shit. But
what are those?
I would love to see a modern day version of it because we can actually see the progression in this, right? From this movie to this movie as far as visual effects go. And this movie was very light in visual effects.
White boy.
Yeah, he does. Second one and two.
Listen, I'm sure I've seen it. I had just forgotten it. Again, I'm gonna be 40 next month. So
I mean, shit. That
shit came out early 90s at the latest. I know I've seen it.
Well, we can add those two plus Double Dragon, and maybe
were there Tekken movies?
Yeah.
Those I haven't seen.
How many Double Dragon movies are there out there, Dadpool?
I thought
if we can find them
one. I can't remember if they did a second one that might have been Super B movie, like straight to video type shit,
or another movie that's like straight to B movie or not fighting, but video game movie that's like straight to B one off, and we could do that one off with So is there another video game movie that only has one movie out that we haven't reviewed, and we'll do that one with Double Dragon.
Double Dragon the movie, 1994.
Yeah.
All right. It's on Pluto, by the way.
Yeah. So we could do that Double Dragon 1 and 2. Someone write that down, or I'll put it right here. Actually, James, can you write down in the group chat if you're still in here? Double Dragon 1 and 2, and
James is dead to us. I think we've.
Or no, Double Dragon. There's only one movie. Double Dragon, and then Double Dragon and Pit Fighter, and then Tekken 1 and 2. Just write that down in the group chat for us, please, James.
Oh, look at those awful outfits. That's right.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
All right, it's kind of coming back to me.
Yeah, I mean, they did it all right with some of the visual effects on this movie for what they could in the 90s, and we see the progression with the next movie that we're going to be talking about. We see it get a little bit better, but it's still subpar, even to me, for the time that it was.
It pisses you off when you watch it, because I'm such a fan of the game, and I kind of know the little stories they give the characters in the game. And like with Ryu, he's way more serious and way more of like a warrior than they portrayed him in this movie as like a goofball with Ken.
And
then the dude who they played Ken, who the fuck was that?
Listen,
some fucking dude that just worked like
he wasn't even blonde. He was barely blonde, for one thing.
He didn't look like Ken at all. Is basically Ken. His visuals, I mean, you could say maybe like a surfer.
Honestly, other than Blanca, my biggest pet peeve, or not even a pet peeve, my biggest thing about this movie when it comes to the people portraying the characters other than Blanca were Ken and Ryu. Like, they were, first off, they were like the smallest fucking guys out of the rest of the characters they had fighter. One thing I noticed of this movie is they literally, I feel like they threw every character at you.
They tried to.
Within like the first 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. They fucking threw them all. They're like, they're all here.
And that's where they fucked up too, because they could have, I mean, you could easily have made, obviously the movie would have to have been a better movie, but you could have made a few movies off of this where you have, say the first movie, you have the main characters, what was it, like 8 characters you can choose?
The 90s weren't really about slowly establishing franchises, though.
Yeah, they weren't. They were literally about get something out. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. That's very freaking true.
They could have taken the approach of, which maybe that's what they tried to do if the scenery changes and shit like that, is make it like stages of the game happening and fights occurring at different situations. But I feel like they kind of missed on it until you're on Shadow Island, and then it feels like that you're on different spots against different people, which is kind of what Mortal Kombat did a little bit. You know what I mean? With having the matches occur at different times, people bumping into each other and shit.
Yeah. But with Mortal Kombat, they also did kind of have the tournaments a little bit in the older ones.
Yeah.
And supposedly they're going to be in the newer ones. We'll see. But
yeah, and then there was only maybe 1, maybe 2 actual scenes of anybody getting into a street fight.
Like a fight. Yeah.
What the fuck? What did they do to DJ? I'm sorry.
That was just horrible. And but here's another thing that got on my nerves with this. I'm like, this didn't feel like a Street Fighter movie at all.
No, this was. I don't know.
This was titled Street Fighter, but it was basically an action movie starring
Jean-Claude Van Damme
as Guile, which makes zero sense. If you guys want to be outraged about something, this is the shit you need to be upset about. And here's why I say it, because you guys are you're upset about the you're upset about the mermaid shit, which is stupid. But here's what I'll say about this: when you play Street Fighter, the actual video game, when they're going to the exact continents or countries, whatever you want to call them, on the maps, they're going to these actual places where these actual people live, and however they look. Why did you pull that from the movie? You just completely ignored it.
Let me ask this, because
that takes away right there. I mean, besides the bad acting, the bad casting, the bad acting, the bad script, this movie was just bad all around. And I know why you made it, because Street Fighter was the shit back then.
Money grab.
It still is the shit, but I mean, it was really, 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 really the shit back then. That was the fighting game. Like, yo, if you're the man in this or the woman in this, if you're the person in this, how's that? How's that, people?
I mean, making a video game is hard enough. I feel like taking a video game where it's literally just a fighter and then trying to develop a story is 10 times worse. Because
I mean,
so I don't know the last time I played a fucking Street Fighter game. It has to have been 20 plus years. Is there an actual story?
Yeah.
Or anything?
Every single character has
There's always been.
Well, hold on. I mean, every character has a little backstory, but is there like an overarching story?
Yeah.
I feel like
it varies. I mean, you can go through their little stories they have through the games, and you could read them in the little books. But I mean, the like I said, the animated movies, that's where they really have their deeper stories or longer stories. Like you get to see the battle between Sagat and Ryu, and where Sagat gets the scar across his chest and his eye and shit. You get to see all that and just a lot of dope shit, which we didn't get with this movie. We got a lot of bullshit.
You get previous shit with Akuma and how he even had the Hadouken or whatever, why he embraced it.
See, the thing about the animated movies is, other than them being cheaper to produce, of course, you don't need the big name talent. So I feel
not at all.
And it's more believable when you're trying to pull magic out of your ass and these special moves and shit like that.
Yeah, and because it still kind of feels like the video game. It almost feels like the video game's in like its own story mode, and you're just watching it. Like you don't even have to play. You're just watching the whole entire freaking thing, and I think that's kind of dope. I think they
could pull off every single special move, action, and all that shit now flawlessly.
Live action?
Yeah, because even look at how bad it was just like a Superman style action for like Raul Julia's character, or for fucking Gaio kick or whatever, you know what I mean?
Kick, yeah.
Or fucking you see, bro, it looked when Ken goes to do his fucking Shoryuken, the fucking uppercut, he doesn't even jump. It's like he just bent at the knees. And then fucking like you don't even see really Ryu do the fucking Tatsutuken thing, the spinning kick.
Spinning shit, yeah.
It like goes off screen a little bit. You see him turn once and then it's off screen, but you hear him It's like
this movie was like trying to be a cheap fan service and to hit like those like well-known high parts with a big name in Jean-Claude Van Damme. They tried to cop their way out of making a video game movie. It was like anything in the 90s was a clear cash grab.
I wish that they would have actually tried to make a video game movie.
It wasn't important then.
Fucking Honda was a goddamn Hawaiian.
They always did that. Fucking
like what the fuck?
I didn't know this as a
Japanese
kid. Of course,
wrestler.
Of course, I didn't know this as a child. But Yokozuna, Hawaiian, Rock's cousin.
Yeah, I mean he had some in him. Don't get me wrong, because it's not island not far off of it, and there's been a lot of migration from there. But still,
but no, I'm just like, okay, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Zangief was one of the closest.
USSR Russian, right?
Vega was too fucking big to me arm wise.
Vega was not Diesel. Like he was. I mean, he was cut. He was more of like an athletic, cut up build, like a Spanish pretty boy that dances and.
Ken and Ryu were like peasants compared to every other actor in the movie.
Yes, they were. Cammy was long blonde hair, thick, and can fight.
I enjoyed Min Na Wen as Chun-Li.
Yeah, Chun-Li. She was okay. She was good.
She wasn't bad.
She's been smoking hot for you since then.
That's Crouching Tiger lady, right?
I don't think she was in Crouching Tiger, was she?
So what else was she in?
She was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I know that. Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Marvel.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, my bad.
Actually, speaking of Chun-Li, there's a scene where they're breaking out of prison. She throws that tracking device on the truck as it's driving out.
Yeah.
And then her Honda and what's the boxer's name? I don't know. Okay. They were like, hey, there's a second tracking device or something. And now somehow they can find the other tracking device that's tracking the truck. And she goes into the morgue. None of this makes any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Like, if you're trying to find the source of this other tracking device, why would it be abandoned in a morgue? And why would Guile, first off, still be, after pretending to have been shot, laying on a fucking table under a sheet?
That whole fucking time. Like, yo.
So it looked real, I guess. But then the whole tracker thing.
You literally just needed to get him off the street. after he's pretended to be shot. He doesn't need to be in a morgue laying there pretending to lay there for hours.
I mean, even
there's literally no one else in there watching where this truck is going if they put a tracking device on it. It's a single monitor in a morgue. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yep.
They could have called this movie something completely different, and it probably wouldn't have been watched. You know what? It would have been watched, but not as much as this, and this was bad. The reason I say that is because I feel people would watch it because Jean-Claude Van Damme's in it, but then watch this shit like, why did I watch this shit?
Well, that's why I asked it like right off the bat. Is this a different movie if it's not Street Fighter and it's just a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie with
I think it's
characters?
As bad as it is, I think it's worse. I mean, and it's hard to say that because this has nothing to do with Street Fighter.
It really doesn't.
So maybe not. You know what? Maybe that would help it a little bit. Just because of the and I'll say that for myself personally, it may help a little bit because it takes the fandom fair away from Street Fighter.
They took some liberties with certain things, I'll say that, but at the same time, they still have some of the backstories and some of the lore from it. So I
think it changes the writing some, not much.
Yeah, like they fucked up with Blanca for sure. But even by calling him Charlie Blanca, because Charlie and Blanca are two separate fucking characters.
No, that was his human form.
No, but in the game, Charlie is the protege of like Colonel Gayu. The fucking dude with the fucking aviator jacket, vest jacket with the fucking weird hair.
Yeah.
That's Charlie.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, why would you do that?
They just had to throw some shit in there, I guess.
Yeah.
They just had to throw some shit in there. And
Dalsim was okay, I guess, but he was only there for a few seconds. He was very, very passive. We don't see him really stretch really.
The whole cast was trash.
He doesn't fucking spit fireballs.
And I'll say that I guess the best one you could say is Chun-Li.
Chun-Li, I think Chun-Li was probably the best character.
And probably the most accurate.
I guess.
Chun-Li and Balrog and fucking the Russian Zangief.
Yeah, I enjoyed his character, especially at the end when he is like, Bison was the bad guy?
Yeah. And he fucked up in those scenes. I think he's Aussie because fucking I think I heard his normal voice come through.
There's the scene there where they're in the tent or whatever, and then Chun-Li, Honda, and the boxer Balrog. You hear her voice. They open the door there, and there's the video of them saying all your shit's about to be blown up. And Zangief's like, change the channel. Like that cracked me up because the truck with the explosives is literally moving so fucking slow before it hits something and explodes. I'm like, fucking come on, man. Like this someone can stand in front of this truck and fucking stop it.
Yeah. A lot of this movie was slow paced. Even some of the fight scenes were a little bit slow. They were very, very, very. I'm so glad choreography, fight scenes, action, and just visual effects have come to where they are so far, and I can't wait to see where else they go.
Honestly, you know what's weird is this visual effects with this movie. Nothing really bothered me that much, or I felt like it was overly bad until they talked about the stealth boat and that going stealth, and like just the electronic shocks. It looked like they were just trying to send over it to indicate it was going stealth.
Yeah, it was.
Felt like that was the worst. I felt like that was the worst.
That was rough.
Fucking Hadouken that you don't see nothing, and he only does it when he's fucking 2 inches away from the guy, and it's just a flash.
Yeah,
fair point.
Ken not fucking jump in at least to do the fucking thing. I'm like, there's so many little things to nitpick. Bison and him stiffness and shit.
I mean, again,
but then again, Raul Julia was fucking pretty much dying.
It's a product of the time too. I don't know what they were capable of technology-wise.
And that's what I mean. Like, I would love to see this now. And now that I'm looking at this logo, I'm kind of realizing I think they kind of ended up using this later on because with the X there, it almost looks like from when they do the Street Fighter Cross games, like the Street Fighter Tekken, the Street Fighter, like Night Stalkers or whatever, Dark Stalkers they do or whatever. I think that's kind of the image. The only thing is they have it now more of that cartoony Street Fighter look to it. You know what I mean? Instead of that shiny metallic look to it. It's just interesting. The little precursor for Street Fighter X crossing with other games.
The scene where Bison is hitting on Chun-Li was just fucking uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That did get a little weird. I'm like, what the?
In his private quarters. That's weird.
Something weird right now.
It's weird until we're there.
Look at that.
We're that age at
dude,
some point.
the way his fucking eyes pop out of his head just creeped me out too. That was the God damn it.
This is the cat. This is the
You can't tell me that doesn't look like an advertisement for a gay club.
Word.
Come on.
Word.
Oh my gosh.
Who the hell?
Oh,
bro, I don't even know. Who the hell's the dude next to Ryu?
Right.
Who the hell's the dude next to Ken?
So that's supposed to be T-Hawk.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was a random.
Who the fuck is
He's in
T-Hawk?
Super Street Fighter. He's in Super Street Fighter. Native American in Super Street Fighter. But he's a big diesel dude.
Yeah, that's right. For some reason, I was thinking fucking the dude from Mortal Kombat.
Nightwolf.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be Ryu.
I know, yeah.
Chun-Li.
Yeah.
This is the American hero guy.
For portraying Jean-Claude Van Damme as a fucking American with a flag tattoo on his shoulder, no less.
Yes,
it's just like weird as shit.
Like a cheap. That looked like one of them cheap tattoos you got at a quarter machine, a 50-cent machine. Cammy,
smoking hot ass. Look at that.
Yo, wait. Look at this picture real quick. Is she the first one to do that pose, like, and have it go viral? The nothing else to offer pose.
This one right here.
Yeah. Where she's just showing her ass and looking back like, haha.
But I mean, that is Cammy's stance in the game. The only difference is her
look
cheeks
at how tight it is. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Balrog,
Zangief,
Ken. Who the hell is this supposed to be? And E Honda.
I think that is that supposed to be Charlie or fucking Blanca, or is that supposed to be?
No, he's dead.
Nah, that's somebody completely different.
That was the Asian officer, military officer. They said his name. I don't remember what it was.
The sheriff? I guess. I don't know who the hell he was, but
bro, I don't even want to know. I'm like, bro, I don't even want to know anymore.
That was rough.
This whole movie was rough, man.
He gave me indigestion.
Captain Sawada.
Sawada? He needs to Sawada his ass on out and down the road.
And
his mother should have Sawada.
Hey.
Without question, the biggest disservice was to Blanca.
Yeah, I'll say without question, the biggest disservice was to us fans.
Well, come on, when they're trying to fit all these characters in.
But that got us to go to watch these movies, maybe not in theaters, but at least when it came out, rented it. I rented it.
Dude, listen, I loved this as a kid when I was 10 years old. Sure.
I didn't like it as a kid either. I hated it.
I'm sure I loved it as a kid.
But
with the Blanca thing, though, they literally are trying to, and as far as I'm concerned, Blanca and Captain America were created the same way. They're both in a fucking tank, basically. Blanca, they have that terrible looking graphic of him on the screen saying his muscle mass is increasing by whatever percent. It's like his muscle mass increased by 100%. On the screen, it's like the fucking Hulk. He comes out the exact same size as when he went in. Like, he's just green now.
Like, they should have just had Lou Ferrigno play Blanca for that.
Like, they didn't even get it. It's like they didn't even get a different actor. It's like they took the same actor and spray painted him green.
That's all they did. Like, listen, you're gonna play Blanca now.
Get a bigger fucking actor if you're gonna say that his muscles have doubled in size.
Yeah.
Come on.
That would have been something. We didn't get to see Blanca do the electrocution thing, which in '94 would have looked shitty, but still we would have at least.
He would have been like,
yeah.
It would have been
But
like
that's what every
Super
kid.
Saiyan.
That is what every kid will probably wanted to see then, and they didn't do it.
Or him turn into a ball and fly across and hit somebody.
That's, the ball thing across the screen.
But we didn't get any.
Or him just jump on somebody.
No, I'll slap someone with my balls right now after I spray paint them green. I mean,
wow.
How's that any different? That's the quality that this movie was.
Wow. You got me on that one.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, it's just fucked up because I ain't never seen green balls before. It's interesting.
You're about to.
I don't think we need to.
I'm good. These episodes.
We couldn't get a little bit of this?
Yeah, I know.
Just a little bit.
We couldn't get that? Little electrocution?
Even the fucking GIF there where he looks like a demented puppet.
Look at him eating something.
He's picking his ass in that one. Even that's more accurate than what we saw in the movie.
Cannonball! And then he electrocutes everybody as soon as he hits the water.
That's what he thought of this movie.
Look.
That and this.
And that.
He didn't even have any. Dude, now that I think about it, he did not even have any fucking chest hair in this movie.
Didn't. And then no flipping. That's like the easiest shit. That's easy.
Bro, they couldn't get the Superman dive or a stationary uppercut, like at least with a little extra height. I didn't need extra height. Give me 5 more inches, 6 more inches. I don't need.
By the way, how hard is it for Guile to just step to the side when Bison's flying at him from across the fucking room?
Thank you.
Seriously.
That is one cool thing about Fortnite right there, I'll say, is stuff like that for kids. It makes them check out some older movies and enjoy them just because of the skins in that game. I think that's pretty cool.
No, it's cool for kids because kids don't understand the quality of movies.
That too.
That's why, I mean, it's one of the reasons why I really enjoyed it as a fucking 10-year-old, probably. I was into the game. It was a product of the time, though.
I'll say that to an extent, though, with the kids, with the taste in movies, though, because I didn't like this movie as a kid, and I still don't like it now.
No, I don't know, man. You're watching this as like an 8-year-old. You play these games.
But the thing is, I was always a big Street Fighter fan and like really into the story that I knew and understood of Street Fighter at the time, and this wasn't it. So I was just like, nah.
It was all right at best.
I also don't understand how you have 30 guys with guns against Guile and not a single one of them can fucking hit him.
So the video game right now is going to have the Sonic movies
or Mortal Kombat, right?
The Mortal Kombat movies, yes, but we are going to add the movies we discussed tonight. They'll be added after the episode. So
we're either watching Sonic or Mortal Kombat. Yeah, that's another thing. You have 30 fucking guys shooting at Guile, and they can't hit him, and he's taking them out left and right.
And this is another movie where we had this conversation. I think it was both movies where you had a bunch of people with machine guns, or whatever kind of guns you want to call them, and then the main characters had some handguns that was taking everybody out. I'm like, how the fuck?
So, quick question. So, if it lands,
whatever one it lands on, we're gonna do the 2 movies.
Mortal Kombat, baby. It's the perfect follow-up.
MK1 and 2.
And then, like I said, the reason why we're not finishing this wheel off is because I'm going to add the other 3 movies.
We can add a bunch to this.
Yeah, we can add a bunch, but yeah.
I don't want this wheel to die. I want to keep adding stuff to it.
The video game wheel? I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that if you guys are cool with that. So Kombat. Both the Mortal Kombat movies we're going to be doing.
The original 1 and 2.
I'm with it.
That's
going to be fun. And we're going to be doing again in 2 weeks. So the weekend of the 8th, we'll be back to review Mortal Kombat. In Mortal Kombat. Kombat, Annihilation, and freaking, which I did recently watch those movies. Whenever the new one the latest one came out, I watched all of them.
Really? Wow, I haven't.
Yeah, I just felt it felt necessary.
Did you see the miniseries Legacy?
No. You know what? I just stumbled across that on HBO because it's all like 8 to 12 minute things on the
it started off as like a short form or like an indie project, fucking short film, and then it started getting back, and then all of a sudden people started hopping on like Michael Jai White and shit, and fucking the chick that I think she was in Species or played 6 of 9 on Star Trek or whatever.
That kind of brings me into, I think, Legend of Chun-Li. So let's get into this because I have some ideas and thoughts.
Cool beans.
Okay. Well, before we dive into those ideas,
but my final thought on the original Street Fighter, I'm gonna stick with my 3.
I'm gonna stick with my 0.
I'm going with the 4.
All right. So before we even what if you got your rating?
I'm gonna go 3 on Chun-Li too.
3.
4.
0.5 because it was a little bit better than the other Street Fighter movie. Yes, I said it. First 0.5 on here.
Wow, 0.5.
Yeah.
So my whole theory as I'm watching this Chun-Li movie is, well, this movie came out in 2009, which was actually surprising because it's not good. Especially even with the special effects and stuff like that. But I'm like, I started thinking, especially at the end, they bring up Ryu at the end, and this Jin character going to find him in a street fight competition or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There is, at least with Street Fighter, so they have this piece of shit movie they made in '94, which isn't even a tournament or anything like that. Not even related to Street Fighter. They have Legend of Chun-Li, which is supposed to be a backstory on a specific character. How do you not build a universe at this point slowly with specific movies building to a tournament? The way Marvel has built specific movies build into the Avengers, how do you not start building a Street Fighter universe with character stories well done that lead to the tournament? The same way you could do it with Mortal Kombat. But I think Street Fighter more so because these are more human characters.
I think this is the answer to that question in itself, my friend. I really think this is their attempt at that. I think that's how it might have been pitched type deal. Like, hey, if this does really well, we got so much more room to grow.
I thought that too, and clearly it failed because there hasn't been anything since.
Yeah, and it did.
I didn't even. I should have looked up the money wise how it performed, but I didn't. But Puerto Rican Chris is on that now. I can see by the look on his face.
Yeah, this movie sucked.
And all right, so I'm sorry, sir. I know you probably I hit the wrong button. Hold on. So I give it a 4 because it's slightly better than the other one, but it's also just as bad in many ways, and that annoys me, especially for the time frame where we're at. Like, there's no excuse for
that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, it was hard for me. Like, I didn't want to give it a 4 because I didn't want to give it that much. Say it was that much better than the original Street Fighter, but it is slightly. You know what? 3.5. I got to distinguish here.
So which one gets to 3.5?
I'll give Chun-Li 3.5.
Okay.
Only because some of the action was better, at least. It's a little more modern. Honestly, my least favorite part of Chun-Li is probably Chris Klein.
You know, and that annoyed me because I actually like Chris Klein, but I feel like he had the period with like around the time he was trying to come off of the American Pie that things just weren't. It was just. I don't know. It's like,
see, I can't blame him specifically. I think the role he played was just written awfully.
I enjoyed him in the new Flash role when he was one of the villains there, or antagonists, doing it for the kind of the right reason type deal.
Yeah. I'm not blaming him, and it's not like I don't just dislike him or anything like that. I think he played this guy Nash, and I think the dialogue they give him was awful. Just the way they portrayed his character was bad. Like, it was cheap. It was a knockoff. It wasn't well done at all. Not well evolved. He's basically stereotypical lines that you would see from a cop in some kind of gangland type scenario, and he's hitting on a pretty girl. That's as generic as you get.
Oh my God.
What happened?
So budget 18 mil.
Excuse me?
The budget for this was 18 mil.
This movie fell off the face of the earth pretty quick, didn't it?
That was just the budget. That's how much they spent on this. Estimated about 18 million.
Mm-hmm.
Opening weekend, US and Canada, 4.7 million only.
Ooh.
Right? Gross for US and Canada, 8.7 million. So the entire time it was out, it only doubled what it made in the opening weekend. Gross worldwide, 12.7 million. They lost fucking like $8 million on this fucking movie. $6 million.
Wow.
It's fucking insane.
That's crazy.
People just piss away millions. It's crazy to me, man. Crazy to me. Like, fuck it. We tried.
Sadly, that movie is still small enough budget where it was probably just a drop in the hat, but that is not good.
Yeah. But still, and it sucks too, because you got like Michael Clark Duncan, right? You got the guy who plays Bison, even though he was wrong type of Bison, and I guess they tried to modernize Bison for this movie and everything.
And they fucked it up.
Their Vega was okay. I kind of like that they made him more shiny and more, stuck to his flashy. But then if we go to the story, it's lackluster. It has points where it could have excelled, but it fucking doesn't. Then if we go to the acting, why the fuck was some of this acting so bad? I don't care how much the budget was. You're a certain person with a name and your face is on something. Do better. You fucked it up. Then let's take it one step further. Let's talk about the visuals. I could have done better with a GoPro.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was, I mean, I was excited to see Michael Clark Duncan almost right off the bat. It was good to see him in a movie. The opening scene, one of the opening scenes where her dad is fighting off the villains there, his hand gets some kind of liquid on it. His hand gets lit on fire. He lights that chain on fire. Somehow the other guy catches fire, which he's not covered in anything. He shouldn't have been lit on fire that fast. So that was
go like this at the guy. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Still, I mean, the action was better in this, I think, except for one scene in particular. There's a scene where Chun-Li's in the alley and she goes to help the guy this Gaines kicking the shit out of. That scene in particular felt more like specifically just show fighting and like fight dancing than it did actual fighting or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was about that scene, but it stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the most fake fighting scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah. And then again, with her special moves and abilities, they didn't proportion how high she comes up when she jumps to do the spinning kicks or jumps over people. She became all of a sudden like she's fucking Batman or something in the video games and can just fucking flip and go fucking 4 or 5 feet above you, behind you, jump as high as your head, flip upside down, punch you, kick you, do whatever fuck, like she's in the Matrix. And it's like, come on.
Mm-hmm. It again, it didn't feel like a Street Fighter movie.
No, they've had 2 chances at this now, and neither of them have felt like Street Fighter related.
And it felt like it was like somebody who heard of the game Street Fighter, knew the characters' names, and was like, let's do this. Let's do this.
The wig on Jen or whatever you want to call him was awful. So clearly a wig. This Jen guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, they.
Some bad dialogue where she's like, she meets Kristen Krigg, is that however you say her last name there. There's the bathroom fight scene with her and Bison's female bodyguard associate there, and she's kicking the shit out of her, rips her arm through the wall there. She's like, tell him schoolgirl's grown up. So some real bad dialogue
Yeah.
Oh God.
To pass along.
Oh my God, bro! I just realized.
Schoolgirls growing up.
Yeah.
No, fucking Chris Klein characters. The Charlie is Charlie. The one that's like Colonel Gaio in the game, Charlie Nash. The one that does the one-handed sonic boom thing that I was just talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah. Really? Yeah.
I'm like, oh, how do they keep fucking up? How do you fuck up things that are already there for you?
They don't do any character justice in either of these movies
at all.
And actually, honestly, one of my biggest beefs with this movie in particular was, so I'm skipping ahead here. But they're going to the shipyard there to get Bison's White Rose shipment. They literally take over the office, right, to hang out in until the shipment comes in or Bison and his crew comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Klein, pulls a chair out from a desk and notices this device under it. They've literally been there for however long. How the fuck do you not sweep this 10 by 10 foot office in every fucking inch of it, looking for any kind of anything before you set up shop in there? You're fucking Interpol. Like, it's literally a scene where you have these guys that, like, there's nobody here. Now everybody's here. He pulls out a chair. This is in clear sight of everybody else in the fucking 10 by 10 foot square. Like, it's a bomb. Everybody jump. And then the effects are awful while they're jumping out of this office.
Yeah.
That was the worst part of the movie for me.
That was rough.
Yeah,
that was fucking rough.
That was definitely one of them. And then 2 was her fireball.
That was bad too.
That was sci-fi. That was pretty sci-fi. That was pretty fucking like Star Trek Deep Space Nine or fucking like Stargate SG-1 bad CGI.
I also don't understand Bison's background story in this. It doesn't make any sense.
No, they use this Chinese spiritual fucking supposed.
He gets married in his younger days, takes his pregnant wife to this cave. And what is he looking to, like, basically kill his soul so he can't feel anything? So he rips the baby from his wife's stomach or something. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
It really fucking doesn't. It has. It was just, again, it was one of those movies where people are just throwing shit. Yo, I got a great fucking idea for this one, man.
He knows he's bad, but he has good in him that he's always conflicted with. So in order for him to get rid of it, he gets rid of his wife, the other thing he loves, gives his goodness to his child, and then so that he can go ahead and take over the world.
But he still has this child he cares for, and it's his weakness.
Because he loves the child, and the child has that piece of him.
Yeah, but so his plan failed. Why would you not just kill your wife and let them both die?
No, he wanted to get the goodness out of him.
So he rips the baby from his wife's stomach to get the goodness out of him
and implant it into the baby.
Okay, now you have the baby that you now still care about, and it's your only weakness.
Because she has that piece of his soul. So he gets rid of it so that he can go and be away. And
why not kill it?
That's his weakness.
Why not kill it?
I don't know. Just like Davy Jones in his locker, right? It's got his heart in it. I don't know.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
That's how shit ran back in the day where fucking Davy Jones was around killing pirates and shit, okay?
Clearly, if he's killing his wife, ripping this baby out of his wife's stomach and doesn't care about his wife, I feel it's hard to believe he wouldn't just kill the baby.
Yeah, but we're not understanding the spiritual nature of his devilness and him passing and just wanting to embrace the evil. It's like Anakin when he goes and flips out and kills the fucking tribe right after his mom.
Oh yeah, he kills
and then
all
he
the kids.
flips right, and then all of a sudden, then he goes back and he kills the fucking whole fucking Jedi temple and everything.
But he kills everybody.
Everybody, because then he was fully committed. He's like, I am done.
Doesn't kill the baby.
Well, he didn't kill every. Well,
he didn't kill him. He just killed his wife.
Wait, think of how many other people he's killed in the world in his pursuit, plus his whole board that we know about there.
That's true. Think of how awful this movie is and why nobody should watch it.
That's true. That's true.
Think of how awful this movie is.
Yeah, it's bad. It's that bad because, like I said, the only thing that's giving it some type of points is that it was decent visually as far as the way the movie was shot and things and stuff like that was okay.
Honestly, my favorite thing about it is that it was a few minutes shorter than the original Street
spared him just a few.
There's the scene where I don't know. She goes to the club to pick up Bison's apparently lesbian female associate, and then after the bathroom scene, she's running from Chris Klein and Interpol, and she runs into like the strip club portion of the club or something like that, and she's surrounded by guys with guns, so she does that spin kick and knocks the guns out of everyone's hands.
Yep.
Like, this is so goddamn stupid. And then still runs out the fucking other door.
Oh man.
Like, that was awful. I don't even know what else I have written down here. Oh, by the way,
like she was way too skinny for this role. They shrunk her down and leaned her down a little too much.
Chun-Li?
Yeah, I feel like they focus more on her definition than her having like a little bit of that stockiness to her to, kick ass. You know what I mean?
And literally the kicks. I mean, the fast kick she does.
But then again, she is just starting to learn here, right? She's just going on their training quest. So
yeah, and there wasn't even that much of her training and stuff. Like she started her training,
just the little shit she did with her dad in the beginning of the movie, and then
there was that, and even her training scenes with Jen, they're like 30 seconds long. Like she sucks. 30 seconds later, she's great, and she's doing this shit.
Pretty much.
There's the scene where Jen tells her to go get groceries because he knows that they're about to blow shit up, and they come in like, they're coming. Why not just leave with her? Like, why fight them? Like she clearly left fine. Why not go with her and tell her?
Because you have to display bravery and honor and defend your fucking clan, your tribe, your family, your village, whatever it is.
I feel like part of doing that is knowing when you can and cannot fight the fight.
True.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they're trying to display some type of a value to show off and give a message.
I felt like it was a cheap ploy to make you think he was just killed and she was gonna take that and motivate her. And then he's back 10 minutes later.
Oh, whoops. Scared you.
Yeah.
Bring him back. Pretty much.
There's that. I didn't have a problem with Vega in this movie. The only thing I thought of when I thought of Vega, so she has the brief rooftop fight with Vega, where she gets, and then she throws him over the edge, basically hanging him from the ankles. But she doesn't take his claws. Why the fuck would you not take his claws? At one point it was knocked off his hand. So he literally at some point either got it back on his hand or she put it back on his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he's hanging there upside down with these claws where he could easily cut that fucking rope. It's stupid. It was stupid. It was bad storytelling. And now that's making me angry, actually.
Breathe, Chris, breathe. It's not that serious. But I did.
And he's not even back in it after that, is he? No, I don't think he is, right?
No,
I think later in the movie because Ryu fights him. Or Ken
no, that was the first movie, man.
You're thinking of the first one. I'm getting them mixed up. They're so fucking bad.
There's no way he can't cut himself fucking down from there because he's probably 5 feet above the ground.
I added the other 3 movies or 4 movies. No,
What's
3.
left?
3.
What's left?
So now we have it's Double Dragon versus Pit Fighter. It's Tekken 1 versus Tekken 2 and Sonic 1 versus Sonic 2. That's what we got left on the video game wheel. I figured I'd show you guys that. And actually get it done.
Michael Clark Duncan.
I know, Chris, I know you're bullshitting. As much movies as me and you talk about at work, I know you're bullshitting. Both of these movies are garbage with a capital.
They're both garbage. Michael Clark Duncan's death scene is not even good, which is unfortunate. Where this Gen guy basically rips off an exhaust pipe and just sticks it in him.
It's time for an overhaul.
And honestly, one of the worst scenes of this movie is Chun-Li snapping Bison's neck, where she comes jumping down and catches, like, has her feet around his neck and then twists his neck as she's falling to the ground. This is one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen.
I'm with you. I'm fucking with you.
Because he got distracted when he was already couldn't move by looking at his daughter. I'm like, fucking.
It was stupid. And here's the crazy thing about that, right? So he's there. He wants to keep his daughter safe, whatever. And they want to get his daughter, the White Rose or whatever. And it's like, okay, so you have all this crazy shit going on. You have all these guns and shit going on. Why would you have your daughter there? Like, you know shit's about to go down. You know you want to protect her, but you have her right where the fire is literally gonna be.
It doesn't make, like, where the fuck was she before this? I don't understand. He's clearly not been a part of her life.
Or he's kept her hidden and safe for so long, and then he's just like, you know what? Time to bring her
come
out.
stay next to my side, as opposed to literally on the other side of the planet where you would be safe.
The beef turned up a lot, or for what the kids say now, the ops are after me now. You know what? Let me get my daughter out of hiding. Let me just bring her out of hiding where everything's going to come at me right now. And, oh my. And again, it wasn't a fucking Street Fighter movie.
No. It wasn't.
But you wanted the attention from us fans, which,
listen,
I remember when this came out and I refused to watch it. The only reason I'm watching it is because of the podcast. So,
see,
yeah.
I'm not as mad that it wasn't a Street Fighter movie and that, you know, there's no real street fighting or anything going on like that. Is it dumber than casting a dude with no, it is not.
Just as dumb.
It's just as dumb. I can understand what they were probably trying to 2009. They were probably trying to go into the build background on characters type franchise thing.
They did a bad job.
But they did a horrible job on it.
And you have such good source. No. I'm glad you recommended this so we could talk shit about it. We love doing this at times. But
now, Deadpool's their number one fan. I will not be mad at him.
Never. But no, what I was going to say is you have source material from the video games. If you pay, literally, if you crack open the instruction booklet or you remember the big booklets you can get that teach you how the moves, it gives you a little story for each character. A little bit. I mean, it's a little paragraph, but you can pull something from that. And it's like, oh shit, we want to put all these characters in. Let's pull a little bit of something from each. And they don't do that. They just make shit up. They just make shit up and give them their names.
I feel like we are now in a prime time to start. If you want to build a Street Fighter universe, you can start making individual movies like this that lead to a tournament of some kind.
Could, but you have to do
with quality background stories.
And you know how we have the proof of that? Something like Dragon Ball Z that does that. Something like My Hero Academia that's an anime that does that. Fucking, like, how many different shows and examples of that do we need?
But they're all animated though. Like,
yeah, that's okay. That's easily to make live action because it's not like they're based on, you know, fucking weird.
I mean, I think it can be done live action. Listen, I'm not saying it'll be easy. I don't have the skills.
But why go live action? Why not just go the Mario route?
Because live action is what makes the money.
If it's done right, though, if it's live, I mean, if
how many anime like Mario is an exception to Mario. I don't know. Mario's weird. It's its own thing. But when you're talking Street Fighter, you're talking huge, big ass name franchises.
Right.
Mario.
Yeah, but I mean,
Mario had big name voice actors.
Yep.
Again,
it was done well.
So what if Fighter? So say they do another Street Fighter live action movie, and then they shit. Then it shits the bed a third time. Then what?
It's not. It's only those people's faults that are involved with it that aren't sticking to. Literally, you have a boxed fucking cake mix. All you have to do is put the 3 fucking eggs in, a little bit of oil, milk, or water, fucking stir the shit, and put it in the oven for 25 minutes, 22 minutes. It's not hard. You have the ingredients. You have the recipe. They fucking literally give you the package for generations worth of following and lore.
The story's there. It just needs to be written in a way that it can be done live action. I don't have that skill set. By no means am I saying I could do it.
I like this comment right here.
Just make it what it is. Give us literally what the game is.
But why not leave it animated though? Why not just leave it animated? Then you can
because I think the big money's in live action, man.
Anime is great, but majority of people, the reason you go to cinema is to watch people and watch it happen, right? And then you use your imagination, you think about it, and you put yourself in that place, right? And that's the point of cinema.
But again,
that's the point of cinema. Remember, what was the first moving picture? It wasn't a cartoon, right? Well, technically it was. But I meant movies. You know what I mean?
And they sucked.
Yeah, but that's we can say that about any we can say that about Friday the 13th franchise. There's movies in that franchise that suck.
Yeah, but that would be lying. These movies suck.
All right, okay, the most recent scenario,
Fast and Furious.
I wasn't going to say that. The Last of Us on HBO.
Okay,
that was done right. That was amazing.
Live action.
Right,
fucking as well done as.
But it's a different.
It's one of the best adaptations you could have of a video game. Period.
Oh, definitely. But that's what brings in viewers. Live action that's the thing. As many anime fans are out there as there is, I don't think you're gonna top people that want to see live people in a movie. Maybe, probably not. But again.
They're going for mass audiences with these things. That's what it is. Anime is not a mass audience.
No, it's definitely not.
It's a more specific audience. It may be large. It's not as large as mass,
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
Actors, live people.
But what I'm saying is that, like you said, and I'm agreeing with you, is that everybody wants live action. If not, we wouldn't do cosplay. Why would we want to make a character that's animated come to life and make ourselves that character?
The Marvel universe isn't animated other than What If.
There you go.
That's true. But they were done right. They were done right.
They were done right.
And that's what it always comes down to. Whose hands it is in.
Even the DC universe, love it or hate it, depending on the movie, isn't animated.
Yeah, but a lot of
people hate it.
And a lot of people love the animated stuff for that. Honestly,
absolutely. But that's
but if they want to,
clearly better.
The animated stuff has not produced them the theatrical success that they want.
This right here is probably a good point right here. A series,
right? Because remember, if you do animated, more than likely the audience that you're going after with an animated, unless it's marketed as for adults, is going to be children. That's the demographic that an animated movie's, and that's small. Yes, there's a lot of little fucking kids running around, don't get me wrong, but that's small true. Compared to getting the kids with the teenagers, the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, the 50-year-olds.
That's the thing.
Like Marvel
animation did. I don't think that stigma of animation appealing to kids, first and foremost, is ever going to go away to a certain extent.
Right.
Yeah. Just how the animation looks.
That's the thing.
No matter how many big mouths
you can bring kids into live action easily. The idea of bringing adults to animation.
But what about this right here? Bringing it still live action, but do it as a series instead of a movie.
I don't disagree. And that might be the better way to go. A Street Fighter series,
with something like this, yeah, because then you can actually spend time learning about the character. You could spend an episode building up a character or two characters.
I like that's not bad. Maybe
season building.
That's the way you go.
If you wanted to, but then I guess for that though, you'd have to say how many main characters. You know what I mean? How many of the main, however many there are you going to be using?
Dependent on episode length. If you can get a 10-episode series,
Mhm.
hour long, which is I feel like probably the average episode when it comes to streaming, the average type series you would see a 10-episode hour long series.
If you're doing it like
you
that,
have hold on, let me
per episode.
Yeah, you have 10 episodes, 8 episodes building character arcs. Then you have 2 episodes for your main conclusion. So you have 8 episodes filling out these characters' backstories, the reason they're coming together to fight this 2-episode tournament. Maybe that's the way you go.
And it allows you to unpack that all instead of having to have the pressure of condensing it into 2 hours.
Even if these episodes are basically almost movie length, like an hour and a half, hour 25 minutes, that's the longer these like House of Dragons, Game of Thrones, HBO shows and shit like that were going on, they were getting up to almost hour and a half episodes.
Look at that. Boom. Yeah.
There you go.
Which would start from
the popularity of streaming has, I think, raised the chances, has made this more acceptable to have 1 hour to hour and a half literally episodes in the season.
You damn right it does.
And I think that gives you the opportunity to build stories like this.
Yeah. And it's for some of it, in my opinion, it seems like they're trying harder, especially with the streaming, because they're like, a lot of people have all these streaming apps. A lot of people have damn near all of them. And we know they're going to sit down. A lot of people will sit down and binge these, or they'll watch them like with The Last of Us, episodically, whatever. Let's just really focus on this streaming shit and really just put out some really, really good series that they're going to be hungry for, that we could drop one season right now, and then 2 years later, we could drop season 2 or whatever the case may be, and they're still going to be there waiting for it and just go crazy for it. As long as, of course, it has to be done well and done right. Like, I'm sure when The Last of Us season 2 comes on, we're all going to be like, "Oh shit, it's coming!"
Also, of course, brings us into the writers' strike because they're not getting paid what they should.
Pay the fucking writers. Did you guys listen? Did you guys see season 1 of The Last of Us? Pay those fucking writers,
man,
all of them, and a bunch of other amazing content that these creators made.
Their last contracts were written before streaming blew up, probably. So,
yeah, fix that shit. Because guess what? Streaming. Guess what? HBO Max. I'm still gonna call you that, and all the rest of you guys. If it wasn't for the writers, you guys wouldn't be making the money you're making. Think about it.
And I mean, the whole streaming climate, retail, like on the business side, has kind of conformed to kind of like what the video game kind of is too, where you have content that sells your product or your service or your device system or whatever, you know what I mean? So now it's like, okay, we got to get people excited. What do? Hey, we're gonna get, like, before the big thing was who's gonna have The Office on the streaming platform. Then it's now who's personal fucking production studios is gonna make the best movie or the best season show and episodic shit. Like, are we gonna run 8 episodes, 12 episodes, or 16 episodes in the season? Who's gonna have the most value in the content we're about to put up to make people want to give us their $10, $12, $15, $20 a month?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. You're absolutely right about that. I just wish these movies were better, man.
They were, man. But I think they were done in the wrong time and for the wrong reasons.
I think another thing is they weren't done by fans of these games.
No, not at all.
Because they definitely want to put this shit out. And they go, what do you mean? You guys want to... No. First of all, let's throw away the whole script. Let's throw away the whole cast. Let's just start over from scratch. Pretend none of this shit ever happened.
Deadpool with look at Free Guy. That movie makes live action animation feels...
Yeah, that was all right.
Free Guy was fucking awesome.
Ready Player One.
I seen that one, I think.
I don't even think... We haven't watched that for the podcast, have we?
I don't think so.
Maybe I'll make that one of mine. Birthday movies.
They do all right. I like I said, the time that fucks up certain things, but they'll get it. And now we're in a good spot. So I hope they do a remake of a Street Fighter like this. You know what I mean?
Oh, really? Pixels. Pixels I haven't seen.
That one's Adam Sandler, right?
I think that's an Adam Sandler movie.
I think so. Pixels. I think so. Is that the one with the big Pac-Man thing in it?
Yeah.
Yep.
The fucking city.
Another fun one was Wreck-It Ralph.
Right,
Yeah, but that doesn't have any live action.
No, I'm just talking about video games.
No, that was a good. It had a lot of video game references and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. That one, that movie got fucking money paid. Fucking companies got paid off of that shit.
Yeah, if you're working with Pixar, you're gonna get some money probably.
You have to.
I don't know, man. I stick with.
You're good.
I stick with my ratings on these movies. 3 for Street Fighter, 3.5 for Chun-Li, only because the action's a little better, and then it's a little more up to date. But literally, that's it. Like, I'm not saying the story's great or that much better or anything like that. Barely.
Yeah, I kind of felt like I said, they were on par with each other. A little bit better writing in Chun-Li. Visuals are a little bit better, except for special effects. But again, still weak in the writing, still weak in the character development, still weak in the character portrayals and the acting, still weak in the chemistry on screen. It's just weak in the vibe of what they set out to do from the lore and the story. So again, they're equally the same for their times.
Probably, yeah.
I am sticking with my ratings as well. The first Street Fighter is 0. Second one, a 0.5, because it was a little bit better, I guess. But they both were garbage. And I'll probably never watch these movies again.
I hope not.
Definitely I'll watch at your own risk. I'll never tell you not to watch a movie, but
there's no need.
These shits again, ever again.
Next year, my birthday movies are going to be a toss-up between Street Fighter, Blood Lake, and what was the other one?
I don't do repeats, so I'll just sit that one out. I did enough of that.
But it's my birthday.
That's fine. But yeah, oh my god, these movies were so bad. These movies were so
not great.
Bad.
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, I gotta go pee.
Me too.
Yeah. But at least we have Mortal Kombat.
I'm fucking. Now I'm excited, man.
Yeah, next week.
Those will be fun.
Yep.
Well, yeah, in 2 weeks we have the 2 Mortal Kombat movies, Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Deadpool with the only connection is that the
hairstyle
to the Chun-Li's hairstyle.
Yeah, and she was in both movies. Chun-Li was in both movies.
Smoking hot. Smoking hot in both movies, by the way.
But
yeah, honestly, that's the true link to these, is that they're both driven off of the Chun-Li's.
They really are.
And Shadow Lu in the beginning of Bison and all of that.
Yeah, even the original Street Fighter is. This story moves along because of Chun-Li.
Yeah, and if you guys do another Street Fighter movie, don't use Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile again, please. That was just.
No, I think you could build a Street Fighter universe, but maybe in a like.
I think a series would be way better than a movie.
I don't know how you do. I feel like that's the only option when you're talking about this many characters for one thing and trying to connect all of them.
Yeah. Because you can
you can't do it in a 2 to 3 hour movie.
And honestly, I feel like Mortal Kombat should do the same thing. Especially because Mortal Kombat, you kill characters off. So it's like if you do a series and they get killed off in certain episodes, boom, they're done.
And that's what's so frustrating about these, is that they're both series that have such a long lineage. And besides that, like Mortal Kombat is on number 11, and now they're back to MK1, right?
Yep.
So now, and then Street Fighter, we're on 6. But if you don't count just the 1 through 6, there's like fucking 16 or 20 fucking Street Fighter games.
There's 30 games they made in between there.
So it's like, come on, there's so much for you to feed off of and take from that's already there for you, that people have already bit on, enjoyed, and told you that they fucking like. So why would you not deliver?
Maybe with a series.
Whatever.
Maybe with a series.
Yep. He's like, all right.
We're closer to anything with Mortal Kombat than we are Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. Definitely better movies. Yep.
I'm still
MK Legacy, 8 to 10 minute character films. That's what they are.
I got the Blu-ray for that.
Nice.
That's how much I like that shit.
It's right on HBO. I'm gonna flip through that shit probably after we watch the 2 movies for the next show.
Shit, that thing started out on like machima.net or .com. Just a little short.
Nice.
It was fucking good shit. Good shit.
Let's wrap this up. I gotta pee.
But we're gonna wrap this one up because Chris and Chris got to pee and they're gonna help each other again.
That's right. That's true. We're gonna hold each other while we both pee in the same toilet. Let's go cross the swords. We're gonna go cross the swords
in peace while they cross.